my presentation is going to be on Okinawan sweet potatoes. So just some background information like the horticulture of sweet potatoes. Its scientific name is called Ipomea batatas. It is also part of the morning glory family. You can see a picture of the sweet potato flower in the middle, and it's a large starchy sweet root vegetable. On the left hand side, you can see a picture of the sweet potato leaves. So if you see those going around, you might have some sweet potatoes in your backyard or around your area. And then when it's dug up, this is what the sweet potatoes could look like depending on its variety. Sweet potatoes originally originated in America, in the Americas, so that's North, South, and Central America. And there are over 1,000 species of sweet potato. Okay, there comes the pictures. And they're usually identified by their flesh color, as it's just easier for people to identify, kind of like when you call Gatorade by its color instead of by the flavor. So um, there's typically white, orange, yellow, which yellow are the Japanese golden sweet potatoes. That's where that one is from. And purple potatoes, which is generally referred to as the Okinawan sweet potatoes. And then as you see on the right hand side, there's the white and orange sweet potatoes. Next slide is just some nutritional facts about sweet potatoes. They are very high in vitamin A. They're also very low in calories, sodium, cholesterol. So it's very good for your health. I highly recommend eating sweet potatoes. They're also high in complex carbohydrates. So they're not fast carbs that will just give you more sugar and use for energy. It'll help you burn energy throughout the day. So a common misconception between sweet potatoes is the difference between sweet potatoes and yams. Sorry, if I'm waiting for my computer to load. There we go. Okay, so the sweet potato is from the Ipomea genus, while yams are from the Discorea genus. Sweet potatoes originated from the Americas, while yams originated from Africa originally. And sweet potatoes generally have a smooth, a very easy to peel skin, while yams are really hard and kind of like you see all the roots sticking out on the right hand side, and it's very difficult to peel. You would need to use like a knife to peel the skin rather than just a peeler. Sweet potatoes generally come in white, yellow, orange, and purple flesh, while yams, they also come in white, yellow, and purple, but they also come in pink flesh. And sweet potatoes, when they're cooked, they're generally soft and tender, so they can be easily mashed and turned into paste, while yams have a firmer texture, which it's used for more like body, like used for the body and texture of produce. So on the left hand side for the sweet potatoes, this is a picture of the Okinawan sweet potatoes. And on the right hand side, it's a picture of what I'm sure, I hope all of you guys know is the very popular nowadays ube yam is what is used. However, they're very interchangeable in flavor wise, but just depending on what the different type of texture is going to be used. So if it's like your ube flavored drinks, that's most likely going to be sweet potato, while things like your ube pancakes or ube waffles, that might be yams because it's going to be more firmer and give you an actual like body that you can eat. So why is there such a confusion with yams? It's because the US is very confusing. English sucks. Yams was stolen from the African slaves. The slaves, they would call yams nyami, is what they would call in their normal language. And slave owners, they would be seeing this and they'd be like, oh, this potato is called yummy, so we'll call them yams for short. They're very interchangeable in the United States. However, in any other country around the world don't know the difference between sweet potatoes and yams. This is because when sweet potatoes were already in the market in the late 1600s, they only really had the white and yellow flesh potatoes. But later down the line, new new potatoes were cultured and harvested and produced and sold in the 1930s that had that really bright orange color. And the Americans were like, "Oh, this is different from sweet potatoes. We should call it something else." So they called it yams. So I don't know if you guys have eaten it in Thanksgiving time, but candy yams, those are usually the orange sweet potatoes. So, and then this is just a little diagram again of like sweet potatoes versus yams. You have the white sweet potatoes, and then the orange sweet potatoes, which Americans also call yams, and then you have actual yams that come from Africa and look very different from sweet potatoes and have a very different texture. And a little more background history of how the sweet potatoes got around the world. Again, they originated from the Americas. They were grown from the Aztecs, and that's how um, the New World got introduced to sweet potatoes was because of Christopher Columbus's expedition. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. So he went to, so when Christopher Columbus visited um, Central America, he brought back things like gold, chocolate, and sweet potatoes. And he brought it back to his home country, back to Europe. And then Portuguese traders brought it in the 1500s to the Philippines. And then those traders, they took it to China. And eventually from China, it got introduced into Okinawa through a very famous person. Um, and then from Okinawa, it went to Japan and then to Korea. So technically, sweet potatoes went to Okinawa first. So why did sweet potatoes come to Okinawa? It's because the the person who brought sweet potatoes, he wanted a food that could feed the population because Okinawa was going through some rough times. Um, there was wars and there was also not much time to cultivate the land, so the soil was in a very poor condition. And sweet potatoes are a famine food. They grow well in either very dry soil or very wet soil, which is good because Okinawa and Japan and Korea and China, that whole area is very um, they have a lot of what's called the monsoon season where there's a bunch of typhoons, high rainfalls. So it's very good because sweet potatoes can resist this. In addition to the whole nutrients where it's very high in carbohydrates, vitamin A, the cholesterol, and all the good vitamins. So next we're on to the person who brought sweet potatoes, Noguni SOUKAN, if my computer ever loads. It's going. There we go. So on the right, there is a statue of Noguni SOUKAN, which you can visit if you visit his home area in Kadena, Okinawa. So he was the one who introduced sweet potatoes from China to Okinawa. No one really knows his name. It was back in the 1600s, and his name never really got passed down. So Noguni is actually the district in Kadena, which he was born in, and SOUKAN was his job. He was a Shonan era government trade manager with China. So SOUKAN means manager. So his name is just where his birthplace and his job. But um, but he eventually brought the sweet potato saplings from Fuzhou in China to the Noguni district, so they could survive all throughout the famine and have a stable crop. Eventually, later down the line, in the next few years, he also helped to cultivate saplings the um, all over Okinawa, and eventually even brought it to Japan when he was doing trading. It's also it's also kind of cute. Um, he's also referred in Okinawa. He's not only referred to as Noguni SOUKAN, but he's also called Umi Ufushi, which means Sir Sweet Potato. That's a little cute nickname. And this is a little map of where Kadena is located in Okinawa. So, little big island of Okinawa, and then Kadena is kind of like close to the middle, but a little southwest. Um, and of course, it was taken over by the military, so there is a military base, but it's a closer um, picture of where Kadena is. And then if you see on the left-hand side, next to the Kadena Air Force Base location, there's the Kanaku Seaside Park, which is important for the next slide. Because the next slide talks about the Noguni SOUKAN Festival. It's held in that seaside park. It's an annual festival held generally in October, which is sweet potato season, because it is a fall crop, and is held in honor of Noguni SOUKAN for his contributions for bringing sweet potatoes. So they make little floats to kind of symbolize like his ship bringing over the sweet potatoes, and they have dancing and live performances. And for the kids, I couldn't find a picture of it, but they have a sweet potato digging contest. And just to wrap things up, I wanted to introduce a recipe that I really love, since um, I love eating sweet potato. So I'm sharing a recipe of a Okinawan sweet potato HAUPIA pie. I generally uh, I'll make it on special occasions, but if only my computer would show the recipe. There we go. I'll make it on special occasions, but most of the time during Obon season, if you guys participate in Obon, which is from May to like August, um, the temple that is right by my house, they always provide Okinawa sweet potato pies. So this is so Okinawa sweet potato pies always remind me of Obon season. So if you guys are interested, I can always send this to you if you guys want to try it out. And there's procedures, but it's a little wordy. So if you're interested, I can always send it to you. And my bibliography. That is all I have for you